over 30 years I've been waiting to get to this park. And what park is it? Six Flags Great America, Chicago's main theme park destination, and really probably the Midwest's primary theme park other than Cedar Point and Kings Island. It's a relatively windy day out here. I'm hoping that will help because I had a 6-hour flight delay getting here. I originally had a whole day planned, and now I'm getting here right at 5:30 with 3.5 hours to fill 16 to 17 odd coasters if I could get them in that time. Not liking my chances. Maxx Force just opened only 2 weeks ago. So we're gonna see what we can manage. It doesn't look too busy here. Got my fingers crossed I could get everything done, but I don't think it's gonna be likely. But here we go, a whirlwind vlog from Six Flags Great America. So I'm gonna set things up really quickly before I start on my day, but there you go, the double carousel's right behind me. I'm here, Six Flags Great America. So it rained, there were thunderstorms from 10 a.m. until about 3 this afternoon in Chicago, which really makes me think I didn't miss too much because all these rides would have been closed for the majority part of the day because of that. That being said, the back half of the day is obviously very sunny, humid, and very accommodating for riding. So I probably will get everything in. I'm headed to Maxx Force first, gonna get that out of the way, and then I got a lot of bucket coasters to cover as well at this park. Really, I'm gonna only film short snippets of it because I do want to enjoy the experience as well. So let's start off with what else with Maxx Force. So it's currently on a half-an-hour wait, so I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to actually reroute here because that's obviously the heaviest wait in the park right now. So if Maxx Force is on a half-an-hour wait, that means I'll probably be able to get everything else in really quick, and then I can come back for hopefully a shorter wait. Looking good. Let's get this done. This would also be my first Marriott park, or Great America Park, Great Adventure. I guess Six Flags Great Adventure wasn't a Marriott park, so this is my very first Marriott park. Just trying to roll that off the tongue, it's not easy. But it definitely has a different feel to it than some of the other Six Flags parks that I've been to as far as the layout is concerned, which is really cool. I actually don't really know where I'm going other than we've arrived at a classic, which is the Whizzer, so I gotta go on this. Gotta give it a go. This thing has been here since day one when it opened, and it's a legendary Schwarzkopf that I've never been on before, at least this type of model. There's only 2 in existence left in the world, I believe. One was originally at the other Great America Park, but is no longer with us. Whizzer.
Line. The gates in front of you are closing. Each seat can accommodate 2 riders.
Just got off the Whizzer, the legendary Schwarzkopf coaster that was built the same year I was born. So special association to that one. Yeah, it was a pretty good family ride. It wasn't really the most intense Schwarzkopf I've ever been on, but it's unique to this park, which is kind of cool. And the way that the terrain is grown in around the coaster is also really benefiting it. At least from when it comes down to thrills and stuff like that. So that way you can actually it's a very scenic ride. It's not fast, it's good for kids. It's not exactly as crazy as I was originally expecting, considering how well loved it is in this park, but yeah, it's good that they still have it, because Schwarzkopf's like that. I've never been on one before, and it was definitely something different at a front seat ride. Probably do a back seat ride later on if the time presents itself. But I'm getting really into the nitty-gritty here. So we've got Maxx Force behind me. We've got Raging Bull. We've got Demon. All these rides that I've been like waiting forever to try. Minus maybe Maxx Force because it's only new. But yeah, it's time to get on some. They even have a spider here called the Lobster, which I'd like to get on. Unfortunately, it's just not enough time. We'll see how I get on these bigger rides and if I have time as it's permitted. I should say as well that Maxx Force's launch is extremely loud. From Whizzer, you can hear it, and it just sounds like a shotgun blast going off in the forest. And it's completely like, there's no anticipation for it whatsoever, so that's kind of cool. Alright, here we go. We gotta get some rides here. So we got Viper coming up. I don't even know if I know what Viper is. Apparently it's a 15-minute wait. Viper's a wood coaster, that's right. So here we go. How do I not know this stuff? It's a Coney Island clone, Coney Island Cyclone mirrored clone, built in 1991. This is the first of these that I've actually been on. I've been on the original Cyclone, but I've not been on any of the copies. So I have been on Twisted Cyclone, RMC version, Six Flags America. Enough about me. Some great shots of Raging Bull and stuff in here too, so I'm probably going to loop back after this ride, capture a couple shots of that too.
Push down and pull up on your lap bar and unfasten your seatbelt. Please exit to your left and down the ramp.
Just finished up on Viper here, kind of like a mid to back seat ride. Great station, I'm gonna have to say. Like, this is really kind of like, it's a very large, well put together sort of, you can't even get the scale of the station house. It's one of the larger old style ones that I've ever seen. But yeah, like, pretty smooth ride. It's obviously been gotten some TLC over the years, which is nice, because I know that there are some models of this coaster that they've just given up on and RMC'd to not even running, like a Magic Mountain. Every time I've tried to get on that Terminator ride, it's never happened. But yeah, like, it doesn't really have what the original Coney Island Cyclone has, as far as like the nostalgia aspect associated with the ride, but it's a pretty good family coaster. It's got some height to it. Nothing too extreme, not much force or speed throughout the course though, which is kind of underwhelming. So yeah, just a rather mid-range wood coaster in my book. Like, even I talk a lot about the roughness of a ride like Wildebeest at Wonderland, but that's way more intense than, say, this ride is, to be honest, as far as I'm concerned. So we're moving on. We got a lot of stuff to get through, but we're hitting the big ones now. I'm not sure if it's Demon or Raging Bull that I'm hitting next. It's whatever I run into. But I'm going to try to get as much done in this next hour so that way I can cover a lot more footage-wise. But I'm pretty sure Raging Bull is coming. Another bucket list coaster. Finally going to be crossed off my list. That is in Fahrenheit, other than hot. So yeah, I'm gonna be sweating up a storm as usual, because it is definitely humid. Raging Bull's going right behind me. You can probably guess what's coming up next. It is a walk-on right now, so I'm gonna do 2 rides in a row, get this one done. The original B&M, one of the 2 original B&M hyper coasters, came out the same year as Apollo's Chariot. Not as well known as that ride, and I unfortunately haven't been on it yet, but I hope to correct that soon. But hopefully this is better than Diamondback, which I find quite underwhelming. But we shall see. I've always liked the layout of this ride, so we'll see what we got. Likely two, maybe more rides on Raging Bull. I was actually pretty impressed with that ride. I liked it. It was a lot more forceful than I thought it would be. It really keeps the speed in its double out and back. It's actually a triple out and back layout. It reminds me a lot of Goliath slash a Six Flags Magic Mountain. But yeah, it's just it's a pretty solid B&M, to be honest. I do like the fact that the turns, or the overbank turns on it, carry the speed of the layout relatively well versus it just being a full bore out and back coaster like Fury 325 or Leviathan or Behemoth even has going for it. But not much airtime, that being said. On the hills, the airtime hills that it does provide, it has definitely aged a bit. It's 20 years old now, so it's definitely kind of feeling its age. I'm trying to find the way into Demon now, which I'm not really sure, so I'm just going to kind of wander my way around. I'm trying to prioritize time, but one thing about most amusement park attendees is that they're not really prepared for enthusiasts and the level that they're willing to travel to get to their credits in time, because I just noticed that American Eagle wasn't running, but it's just back up now, so I'm headed over there now to get it before it goes down again, because it's definitely one of the ones I need to get today, and I'd be very upset if I didn't. Did you hear that? They still got the 70s era theme music for Demon playing. I gotta really take this in a bit more, because I've been wanting to ride this ride. And I love my arrows, as I've probably outlined enough in other vlogs if you've seen it. This is a legendary arrow. Pardon me. Originally a corkscrew coaster, and in 1981 they redesigned it with two loops with a rock structure that it loops around, and added some more sinister elements which originally the public had issue with. So yeah, let's check it out.
I thought he was wearing RTO, so.
The Demon. Okay, I was pleasantly surprised by that. Okay, so yeah, that circa's early 80s theme music is a theme that carries out throughout this ride because they've really given it love over the years, and all the effects are basically working still, including that growling sensation that you get heading into the rock fixture before you hit the corkscrew. The light tunnels were sensational for what they were. I like to see those period type of effects still going, and Demon, we certainly got that going. The atmosphere of the ride has basically been retained since the day it was refitted into its current form in 1981. And it's not without its roughness. It is an Aero running, I believe, still original Aero cars from the looks of it. It definitely feels that way, more so in the back than the front. The front was pretty enjoyable of a ride. Lots of ejector airtime in the back seat though over that first hill. It really picks up momentum before it takes you over it. That corkscrew, as rough as you would imagine off of an Aero. But yeah, overall, just the package of that ride, when people talk about the theming of a roller coaster having come together to give it that extra element to provide an enjoyable ride, well, that's a classic example of that right there. 35-year-old ride, almost really 40 years old in its original form, that's still loved and well ridden today because it's still just got those theming elements that make it something special. Big fan of the Demon. So we're moving on to another more bigger theme area of the park where we're gonna hit Goliath probably first. But I do have X-Flight right in front of me, so might as well take advantage of X-Flight, yeah? Let's do X-Flight. Just finished X-Flight. Honestly, it was not a ride that I really was in my stream of knowledge when I was thinking about this park, because I don't even know the year that this opened. And there's probably a reason for that, because there's not been much talk about it. I just don't know about these X-Wing coasters and the effectiveness overall of these rides, because I don't think I've really been on one that I've just been blown away by. Even Gatekeeper, which is known as one of the best ones at Cedar Point, wasn't really a big fan of it. So yeah, here we go. We got another tame experience. I'm not one to complain about vest restraints, but on this particular ride, wow, we're talking really tough by the end of it. Like that was tough going. Like by the final, the final element that I really did love was this sort of head chopper through the lighthouse that goes straight through the center of it. That was the best, most effective part of the ride. But by that point, the vest restraint is just so tight on you that, like, even for me, that's one not to complain about it normally. I was kind of left quite underwhelmed by that whole sensation. So, yeah, of the bigger B&M coasters in this park, this is probably going to be on the lowest of my list, if not the lowest, because it really lacked a lot of force, speed. It really, yeah, okay, you're flying, but we need to add something else to the element. I was in the back right, so I was definitely getting the most speed throughout the course of the ride. But yeah, it just left a lot to be, getting bugs on me. It just left a lot to be desired, to be honest, and I'm kind of surprised about that, considering. So we're gonna move on. We're gonna do Goliath behind me or American Eagle before I get sweaty to death here. just got off of Goliath 2 rides in a row because I just realized I'm here on my own, so I can take advantage of the single rider line. So I'm gonna do that to really maximize my efforts here today. And that is my favorite ride in the park so far. I must say it has lived up to the hype. That was relentless, very short, amazing airtime on that first airtime hill. Could have benefit from a little bit extra track work, but like this was kind of a prototype for its kind. But it might be the best topper track coaster out there because it's a first for me, and I was blown away. It was just the amount of speed that it takes throughout. It really hauls throughout, and just that airtime hill, the first one, is unbelievable. That stall, also unbelievable, and the diving stall as well, right after the airtime hill. All 3 of those elements are unbelievable. And also the 2 turnaround elements as well, right after the initial hill, are also amazing. Yeah, very happy with that. It's gonna be tough to see if Maxx Force can live up to that, because yeah, that's one of the most unique rides I've had all year so far. Goliath is really worth the hype that it gets. It's definitely could do with a little bit longer of a duration, but I'm the beggars can't be choosers. I'm lucky enough to have been here to try it, and if you're coming out here, that's definitely the first standout coaster of this park for me. I will admit, it is not easy to get through this park quickly. There is a lot of it is a double circular formation, but you can get lost here real easily. Kind of like how I am, but I've never been to this area yet, so I've got a junior credit that I can't crack off because it looks like it just closed. And it's kind of heartbreaking because this is a classic Little Dipper. There's something wrong with it. It's only a 30-foot high kids course, but kids coaster. But I'm gonna try to prioritize things now. Get on a couple things over here. That is what's left for me to do. Batman, V2, Joker. Just finished V2. That was a very good impulse coaster, or variant of that sort of ride, basically. Yeah, I was quite impressed. The load-in took quite a long time because people in that station just seem to be confused about the fact that you can't be in the station while the thing is running at 60 miles per hour through it, or 55 or whatever it is. But it seems like a no-brainer, but apparently had to be explained. All right, I'm gonna do 2 back-to-back. I've got a tight schedule yet again, as always. We got Batman and the Joker right next to each other, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that right now. I've been on versions of both of these rides before, numerous, as a matter of fact, so I'll probably just do them once and then get on my hot tippet over to Maxx Force before I run out of time here. There's also a log flume here I want to do. Looks like I'm not going to get, obviously, every credit here today anyway, but here we go. The DC twosome. This is another bucket list ride for me, however, because I've been following it since the day it came out. I've always wanted to ride it. Now, I've obviously been on other versions of it since, but this is the original B&M invert. Hoping it packs as much of a punch as, say, Le Vampire at Moron, which is still a very impressive ride. Station alone, although I would say, right out of the blocks, it's very impressive.
storming out. Thunder coming your way!
We're getting on to about an hour left in the park, an hour and 10 minutes. I'm kind of hoping that they stay open till 10, but I don't think there's a chance of that. It's kind of getting really sparse in here right now. I'm on my way to my last two major credits of the day. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to try to get on Maxx Force at least twice or three times in a row, and then do the rest of the park as I see fit after that. Wouldn't mind a close to night ride on Goliath, but it's not going to be really like night time by that point. So we're just going to go, we're going to do Superman, we're going to go and do Maxx Force, and then we'll call it a day here at Six Flags Great America. Pretty good day too, a lot better than I thought it was going to be considering. Actually, I've got another Batman Dark ride to do too, so we'll leave that for later. Kinda gotta prioritize things right now. So here we go. Where are we going? There we're going. We're going over here. It doesn't even look like it's running though, to be honest.
The ride's down.
Oh, the ride is down. That's why nobody is doing anything. So we're off. The hell with Superman, we're off. It's the one thing about Six Flags, it wouldn't be a Six Flags day without ride closures, and now we're getting them. So American Thunder is closed, but then it was running when I was too far away from it to get a ride. By the time I get back up there, it'll probably be closed again. And now we're off to Maxx Force because Superman Ultimate Flight is just closed down when I got in the entrance for that too. So we're gonna have to backtrack, come back over here, try to get on it after I do Maxx Force. But depending on how long it takes for Maxx Force, I might not get on that one today or American Thunder. If I'm going to prioritize anything, I think it's probably Goliath will be my last ride outside of Maxx Force, depending on how I feel about it. So stay tuned for that, because that's what's coming up over the next God knows how long with my hour left in the park. And just as predicted, it's closed. So, Six Flags. Alright, I know it's the first 2 weeks, but that's very disappointing. So it looks like we're not going to get a chance to go on Maxx Force today. The whole reason why we're here. And the other thing that sucks about it is that because we're over here, we're kind of furthest away from any other rides that are worthwhile getting on. So it is what it is. Maybe I'll just hang out here and see what happens. So hopefully the situation will correct itself soon. The hair is starting to reflect what just happened for me in the last 20 minutes, inclusive of the closeout of Maxx Force. So we've just done Batman the ride, which lived up to my expectation, and oddly smoother than some of the versions that I've ridden that are 10 years older than it. They've definitely kept it well maintained, and the overgrowth now in that area around the coaster really adds a special element to that particular invert. It's got to be one of the better inverts that I've done. It's definitely going to be in the top 10, I would say, but probably the best Batman invert out there, I'd say. The original, still the best. Joker, I've been on more than a couple of these S&S wing coasters now. That's probably the second best one I've been on after, I don't know, maybe it's a tie with Arashi at Nagashima Spa Land. We didn't get any flips on it, which was disappointing, so I don't know what it is, but just I don't have much luck with flipping on rides. Be it Zamperla's or these S&S wing coasters. And I just got off of the Batman Dark Knight, the Gotham City Railway coaster, which was the enclosed Wild Mouse with theming elements. Never been on a themed Wild Mouse before, so it was kind of cool to experience it that way, but it was a standard layout, and so you kind of know what's coming. It adds a little bit more punch. I think that honestly, if they wanted to make it a little bit more thrilling and more scary, it could actually definitely be a very cool ride. Alright, getting out of breath here because I'm headed back over to Maxx Force, praying that there's a test run going or something that I can possibly get on it, but I'm not liking my luck. It's just one of those things that seems to happen when I'm coming to a specific park for a specific ride. But it's not been without its problems over the last couple weeks, so it's what's to be expected. And as I can see, it is still closed, so we're just going to walk on by. I'm not even on the right side, damn. Okay, one thing about this park is that it makes it certainly difficult to get to the rides. I'm lost. There's like just a maze of walkways. What I'm trying to do is to get over there, which is American Eagle. For some reason I feel like I'm in the exit for it and not the actual entrance. Either way, as long as I get on it, I'm happy. It's all the way over there. It's a massive classic. It's running. That's all that matters. Unlike Maxx Force. I think we're almost there. As you can see, maze upon maze of walkways here. All over the place. Not good for my high humidity levels right now. It's all safe.
Welcome back. How was your ride? Sounds pretty good when the train comes to a complete stop and you hear the buzz push down and pull up on the lap bar
A
end.
1976 classic racing double wooden coaster, the tallest of its kind, I believe, when it was constructed, American Eagle. That's a classic ride. It's definitely one of the roughest shaped wooden coasters that I've ridden as far as like its maintenance is concerned, but you don't really feel it because I don't know, it just seems that the train really handles the force really well, so even if you're sitting on the wheel sides, it's really kind of smooth. Not smooth, but manageable, I'll say. I've been on some wood coasters where I just get off of one ride and I can't get on again. This one I did two in the front and the back, and they were, I just stepped in some gum there. That's Six Flags. Yeah, it was good. I definitely am not disappointed. I don't want to really leave the night on that because I keep staring across the park hoping that I see a test run of Maxx Force, but we've got a half an hour left and it's just not looking like it's going to happen for me today. I'm going to go over to Goliath because it seems to be, it was down for a bit. Goliath seems to have been down for a bit, but it's up and running again, so I'm going to get a ride in on that and then maybe one more on Raging Bull, and I guess that's my night because yeah, it's not going to be any Maxx Force for me today. Just wanted also to retouch on Raging Bull, whose final train is now going behind me. That is one of my favorite B&M hypers. I love the layout. I love how tightly compact it is. I love the helixes low to the ground at the end. It just kind of keeps going and going. It's the length of Leviathan, so it's got a lot of punch to it as far as length is concerned, and Behemoth as well. But just the way it's sort of folded into that terrain that it's planted on. Like, I'm really surprised that they were able to get a B&M of that size in such a small plot of land. But it really adds to it because instead of just going, like I said earlier, straight and back, you're just really kind of like weaving into this tangled web of a structure, and so it's really disorientating knowing where you're going to be headed next, and it carries a lot of speed throughout the ride. That's a very pleasant maybe lacking a bit on airtime, but other than that, yeah, I definitely enjoyed that ride a lot. I would definitely rate it higher than, I don't know, maybe I like my helixes and my high-speed curves better than I do airtime hills, but yeah, it was a solid ride. So we're moving on out of the park now. 950 miles, 6-hour flight delay. Not happening, Maxx Force. Not happening today. Doesn't matter where you come from. I don't know if it's a Six Flags thing or if it's an S&S thing, but I'm really not impressed with the downtime of that ride today. Like you literally do, like you're an enthusiast and you come from other parts of the world, you come from Canada, you come from Japan, you come from wherever, and you're trying to bank a park having a certain attraction open, especially a new one for the year, on the one time that you have the chance to ride it. And you can't help but have bad marks when that doesn't work out that way, or it doesn't work out. It's also when you add other rides that are down as well, especially major ones. When I had this planned several months ago, this was supposed to be one of the most significant, if not the biggest vlog that I've done of any for the Coaster Daft channel. And now I'm going to have to say it's probably the most disappointing of the Coaster Daft channel. Now I've gone into it already. No Maxx Force today. Honestly, just if you don't have a ride ready, don't open the ride. Like, maybe wait a couple more weeks for the ride to actually be functionable before you actually advertise it throughout the park that it's open for 2019. Yeah, it's just like some sort of like tease. I'm extremely sweaty. Probably half out of frustration and half just pure humidity. But yeah, I just can't get on point with that. I think it's kind of silly that the ride has been closed for half the day and I didn't get one chance to ride it. Yeah, Superman Ultimate Flight also down as well, which means, you know, I haven't been on that. It's pretty much the last design of a flying coaster that I haven't been on, so I also really wanted to get on that and try it out. I know there are other clones out there that I'm going to get a chance to try very soon, but yeah, it's just, you know, you've come a long way. You want to try everything that the park has to offer, and you get a small quotient of that. Now, obviously, there are other circumstances at play that prevented that from happening. But had everything been running, I probably would have gotten everything I wanted done in 3.5 hours, which would have been pretty sweet. I am probably coming back here, I have to admit. Like, it's not far from in the future that I will come back here. I'm not going to wait 30 years for the next trip. If Maxx Force has the issues that it's been having over the last couple of weeks, then I probably won't be coming here until something else new opens up. But God knows, I'll probably wait for it to actually sort itself out too before I go and invest a lot of money to come all the way out here and just be disappointed by what's on offer, basically. So the only good coaster that I think that was in the park was Goliath. The rest of them were kind of tame and not that great. I've definitely had better experiences on coasters around the world. For a park that's supposed to have a huge quotient of like enthusiast level rides, there was really only one that I could categorize as that, which was Goliath. There were some other impressive ones that I liked, like Demon, which was great. American Eagle, which was great too. But yeah, this is just a disappointing end. So I'm just gonna have to sign off on this one and call it a day.